Good evening. Thanks everyone for being with us this evening. We're going to begin our County Commissioner meeting this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chairman David Gann is out of town today, so thank you all for being here, and let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will now have our invocation. I would like to read some words from an invocation given by Rabbi David Saperstein. If everyone will bow your heads, please. Eternal God, you ennoble our lives by empowering us to do your work here on earth in creating a world of justice and peace for all. We pray for America, that it may ever be a light unto the nations, a beacon of freedom, human rights, and economic opportunity. The protector of this precious earth, which you have entrusted to our care, may your name be invoked only to inspire and unify our nation, and never to divide it. We ask your blessings on all the leaders of our nation, that they may lead wisely and with civility and work together for the common good. These things we ask of you, eternal God, in the sunshine of renewed dreams, committed that the torch of hope shall pass from hand to hand, from heart to heart, until the radiance of peace and righteousness for all God's children shines to the ends of the earth. Amen.
Amen.
I'm going to read the ethics reminder for the Board of the County Commission. In accordance with the Code of Ethics adopted by the Board, all county commissioners have a duty to obey all applicable laws regarding official actions, to uphold the integrity and independence of the office, to avoid impropriety in the exercise of official duties, to faithfully perform the duties of the office, and to conduct the affairs of the governing board in an open and public manner. Is there any item on the agenda, the outcome of which will have a direct, substantial, and readily identifiable financial impact for any board member? Also, does any board member have a financial interest in any public contract coming before this board today? Seeing none, all board members have a duty and obligation to vote on each matter coming before the board this evening. We will now have our public comment for the meeting. So members of the public are welcome to speak. The time limit for any comment to the board is 3 minutes. If your time expires, then you may leave any questions along with your name, address, and phone number with the county manager. Board members are not expected to comment on matters during public comment. Comments should be limited to subjects that are within the jurisdiction of the County Commission or pertain to matters upon which it may act. Any individual speaking during public comment should address the entire board. Any polling of board members is inappropriate. Persons addressing the board are expected to observe the decorum of the chamber and to be respectful of everyone in the room. Any person who willfully interrupts, disturbs, or disrupts the session will be asked to leave the meeting. The board reserves the right to deny public address on any subject that's been previously presented to the board. So, do we have any members of the public who would like to comment at the meeting? Sure, come on up.
Good afternoon, Buncombe County Commissioners. My name is Maureen Quinn. I've been a resident of Buncombe County for 24 years and have raised 2 children here. It is a great community to live and raise children. I have seen needed soccer centers come about, hiking and biking trails built, and the development of child-friendly parks. I believe it is now time to put a new aquatic center on the front burner. The Zeugner Center and the rec park pools are on their last legs. As you all know, swimming is such an enjoyable sport. It is an excellent way to stay active and healthy throughout one's lifetime. I teach parent-child classes, preschoolers, and school-aged children to swim at the downtown YMCA part-time. My mother, who's 82 years old, attends water aerobics 3 times a week. My daughter was on the swim team at Reynolds High School and found working as a water instructor at the YMCA very rewarding. My son, who will soon graduate from the Air Force Academy, told me learning to swim was one of the best and useful skills that he ever learned as a child. Many of his cadet colleagues have had to take mandatory swim lessons. The YMCAs are doing a great job, but there's a greater need for all people in our community. We need a county-wide modern aquatic center. I read last year that money earmarked for an aquatic center had to be diverted over the past decade to build a jail, revamp the courthouse, and other priorities. I realize that there are multiple other needs within this community, but as a former public health nurse, prevention is key. Swimming, diving, and boating safety are skills that can be used a lifetime to prevent accidents around the water, to build self-confidence and endurance, and to maintain a healthy lifestyle. This, in effect, will make a healthier community. Please refer to page 3 of the handout, the last paragraph. It states the Greensboro Aquatic Center is a regional, multi-purpose, competitive aquatic facility that opened in September 2011. It has emerged as one of the top aquatic venues in the nation in its first year. It hosted 36 meets over its first year. The economic impact of these and other events has been a tremendous boon to the local economy, generating an estimated economic impact of more than $41 million. The source was the Greensboro Convention and Visitors Bureau. Ideally, I envision a cooperative effort by the county, the city, and the school system to build an aquatic center in an area near AB Tech campus or the River Arts District on a bus line that is easily accessible to all people. I envision student internships and work-study programs utilizing allied health and business majors. Please do something now. Begin this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Ms. Baldwin.
Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Baldwin. I'm from Fairview, North Carolina. A few months ago, some citizens came to you, actually it was December, and brought to your attention a case involving legal kidnapping by the Buncombe County Department of Social Services. Members of Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Asheville spoke in public comment about how a parishioner's child had been taken by the Buncombe Department of Social Services. When the mom proved over and over again that she was capable of caring for her child, DSS and the family court refused to listen. I think it's ironic that you're recognizing Foster Care Month today as this situation has worsened. And I know there are many children in wretched situations who need protection, and DSS provides a vital service for those families. But with the goal of DSS to be reunification of the child with the parent, if at all possible, this is not happening in this situation. In fact, one of the members said it's as if the mother's been run over by a Mack truck, as in DSS being the truck. We've done some research, and in November, when the social worker told us of all the financial resources that would be available when the foster parent adopted this child, we started looking into that, and we found cases where $85,000 has been given to DSS and foster parents for these adoptions. There are perverse incentives out there to encourage the adoption by foster parents when the parent is fully capable of taking care of their own child. So I'm here to ask for a thorough investigation of this situation. And I'll be happy to provide the names to Mandy Stone or whomever, would be able to look into this situation. But we had a court hearing this week, and the support network for this mom is Emmanuel Lutheran Church. We have surrounded her and her family with love. We have raised money for legal fees for her attorney. We even had 2 attorneys at this hearing, and 2 families from our church have volunteered to adopt this child as well to provide a stable home situation. And everything has been ignored. And it's very disheartening to continue to have to come here and request that there be a thorough investigation of the Child Protective Services here in Buncombe. And I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good to see you again. You could smile.
See you, Jerry.
I mean, it would help. Make you look better anyway. You know what Lisa is talking about here is a very serious thing in Buncombe County. We're building a 7-story building down here on Cox Avenue. You don't build a building of that size for human services if you don't need something to go in it, and a supply and demand. You build a justice center across the street a year ahead of its time or better, and you need people in it. You've got the Justice Center that's coming on in August. You've got DSS, big building. We're talking about multi-million-dollar. Now, if you think Lisa is just talking thin air, you better scratch your head. If you got hair on it, you'll be pulling it out. If you read what you need to read, I'm going to give you a website. It's called medicalabuse.com, medicalkidnapping.com. And if you care to write that down and look at it, you're going to see what's happening across this nation. This foster care stuff, not saying that it ain't needed in some cases. When I say some, I'm talking very little. If the job is being done, they're going to go back to live with their parents. When you put a kid out of their home and you put it into foster care, you're putting that kid into some of the most abusive, damaging relationships that you could ever imagine in your life when they leave that home. There's very few cases that puts that kid in jeopardy from what you're seeing at home compared to what is coming. The regulations is nothing but money. You got to build DSS in a way to get people in, or you're not going to pay for this building. And I'm going to tell you, I got other things to bring to y'all. This budget is bloated for these purposes. You don't build a justice center. You don't build a big place over here for the law enforcement and all this, to judges, unless you got a supply and demand. And I'm going to tell you, it needs to be weeded out on just exactly what needs to happen in Buncombe. When poor people is being represented here, and the people with money, fame, and fortune don't have to face the same justice because they've got money, there's something wrong with that. I think the people on the low end, the people that I'm advocating for and have for years, they're being discriminated against because they're poor and they don't have money. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other folks here who would like to make public comment? Okay, great. We're going to move on to our proclamations, and we're going to take this. There was a request that we move the proclamation for Foster Care Month up to the top. So I believe Commissioner Belcher is going to help us out with that. And we've got the Declaration of Foster Care Month, and I think Angie Garner is going to help us with that as well. Thanks for being here. And then we're also going to present specific certificates as well for some different folks who are involved in this.
Okay, all right, so we've got several things here for Foster Care Month. I choose this every year because my daughter and her husband did bring children into their home and foster them, and we run into them, and and they're back with their mom, and it was just a very positive experience for us. And it was a blessing to me to be part of it. So today, this is our proclamation. May 2016 is Foster Care Month. So whereas the family serving as a primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our community, and whereas in Buncombe County the lives of hundreds of children and families are disrupted every year by crisis or conflicts in their homes, and whereas in Buncombe County there are over 300 children and youth in foster care that provides a safe, secure, and stable home along with the compassion and nurture of a foster family, and whereas foster families in Buncombe County open their homes and hearts to children whose families are in crisis, play a vital role helping children and families heal and reconnect and launch children into successful adulthood, and whereas foster families are an invaluable resource and perform an extraordinary service by working in partnership with agencies to nurture children and provide an opportunity for healthy growth and development. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Commissioners for the County of Buncombe as follows, that the month of May 2016 be proclaimed Foster Care Month in Buncombe County, that all citizens be urged to recognize the important role foster parents play in the life of our community, and be urged to volunteer their talents and energies on behalf of children in foster care, that this proclamation be effective upon its adopted this the 3rd day of May 2016. Board of Commissioners for the County of Buncombe, signed by Chairman David Gant. Vice Chair Newman, I would move adoption of this proclamation.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay.
Great. It's approved.
Welcome. Thank you. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I really appreciate everyone coming out tonight. I think this is such a huge honor, and I just want to speak before I talk a little bit about the families that we're going to be honoring tonight. We have 4 of our foster families that we're going to be honoring tonight. And I just want to say to the commissioners, thank you for allowing us this opportunity, and thank you for your support. It means a lot to our families and our children. And everyone knows who's in this that you definitely don't become a foster family as a financial incentive. You become a foster family to help make a child's life better, and to hopefully, if it's the court's plan, to help move a child back into their home and work on shared parenting with the parents. So if you're here tonight as a foster parent, you definitely know that that's the plan and that's what we aim for. And so that is going to start off some of our awards that I'm going to give tonight to some of our parents. So we are going to start out with Neil and Donna King. Can y'all come up here? So Neil and Donna are current foster parents of ours. They have adopted children as well, and they were nominated by some of our staff. Y'all can come on over here. Due to their incredible work, especially working with children who have specialized medical needs, making trips to Duke and other facilities across the state, sometimes every 3 weeks, up every few hours a night, working with children with feeding tubes and making sure that their needs are being met. So it's just an incredible honor to have you all as part of the county and our foster parents. We appreciate the work that you do. So thank you. And so the Kings get the Biggest Heart Award. Thank you so much. Okay, so our next family would be David and Stephanie Trantham. If y'all can come up here. So David and Stephanie get the We Are Family Award because of their incredible work with families. Their workers basically have said that their work with biological families is just exemplary, with the shared parenting that they do with the children in their home, and the work that they've done to work children back into their biological homes has been amazing. And the connections that the Tranthams keep with these children and the parents after the parents have been returned home is unbelievable. So congratulations and thank you so much. Okay, we have Jeremy and Melissa Melberg. Are they here? Oh, in the back with some kiddos. So Jeremy and Melissa get the Foster Parent Hero Award. There. So the Melbergs currently have adopted, and they're raising an adopted child, and are fostering children under the age of 3. Basically, what their workers say is they're master jugglers at their schedule and do a great job keeping it all together, getting kids to their appointments, working with the families on the needed visits so kids can see their parents. Basically, the work they've done helping to transition kids home to their parents has been awesome. So we want to thank you so much for your commitment to us. Thank you. Okay, and our last award goes to Lynn Ferris. So Lynn gets the Supermom Award. So Lynn has been a foster parent with us for 11 years.
Wow.
Yes. Hi. So Lynn, she's adopted 3 children from us who she's fostered, and basically has the biggest heart. That's what I hear. She's got the biggest heart out of a lot of the families and does tremendous work. Again, it's the theme of the night of working with birth families. So not only has she adopted children, but she has also worked children back into their biological home with their parents and still has those connections with those children that she fostered and the biological parents. So you're awesome, Lynn. Thank you. We appreciate you. So it's Foster Parent Hero Night, and we just appreciate, again, everything that you foster parents do for our kids and the commissioner's support for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie, and thank you for all of you who are here tonight and for all you do for families in our community. Okay. Before we move into our next proclamation, I do want to acknowledge that we have former Representative Wilma Sherrill with us here this evening. Representative Sherrill, it's great to see you with us this evening, and thank you for all you have done for Buncombe County in your many years of service with the state legislature and UNC Asheville in many other ways. Okay, so this next proclamation is, we have proclamations for the UNC Asheville Bulldog basketball champions, and I believe Commissioner DeBrule will be presenting both of them.
All right. Whereas the Bulldogs, with an overall record of 26-6 and 16-14 in the conference, captured the Big South Conference regular season crown for the first time in program history and set a new school record for the most Big South Conference wins at 16. The Bulldogs headed to the NCAA tournament for the second time in program history, earning a 14th seed and faced the third-seeded Kentucky Wildcats in Lexington, Kentucky. And whereas the Big South Conference women's championships were hosted by UNC Asheville with attendance for the 4-day event hitting over 8,000. The Bulldogs won in double overtime, 62-64, over Liberty University. And whereas Asheville junior Chitori Major was awarded the league's highest honor, the 2015-16 Big South Conference Player of the Year. Junior Tiana Knuckles earned second-team all-conference honors, and senior Paige Love was selected for the conference's all-academic team. Coach Brenda Mott-Kirkpatrick was honored as the 2015-16 Big South Conference Coach of the Year. And whereas UNC Asheville was one of only 3 state universities in North Carolina that had teams participate in March Madness and was one of only 24 programs in the country that had both their men's and women's teams in the NCAA tournament, and UNC Asheville became the 3rd school to win both the men's and women's basketball championship in the same season. Now, therefore, Esther Manheimer, Mayor of the City of Asheville, and David Gant, Chairman of the Buncombe County Board of Commission, do hereby proclaim April 26, 2016 and May 3, 2016 as UNC Asheville Women's Basketball Days in the City of Asheville and in Buncombe County, and we encourage all citizens to mark these days with appropriate activities to honor our UNC Asheville Women's Bulldog basketball team. Vice Chair Newman, I move that we adopt that proclamation.
Okay, great. And is there a second to the motion?
Sorry.
Okay, there's a second. And why don't we have Janet and everybody from UNC Asheville coming up, and we're going to read a second resolution
That's
as
right.
well. But
That's right.
everybody, come on up, and you can join us up here. And so there's a motion, and there is a second by Commissioner Fryer.
Nice to meet you.
All in favor of the first proclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
It is adopted. So, do you want to go ahead and read the second proclamation as well?
Absolutely. Whereas the Bulldogs, who finished the regular season 12-6 in league play and 19-11 overall, were the number 4 seed in the Big South Conference tournament after finishing tied for third in the final league standings with Coastal Carolina. And whereas the Bulldogs headed to the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in program history after using a second-half rally to down Winthrop 77-68 in the Big South championship game. UNC Asheville, a number 15 seed for the first time in school history, faced Villanova, the number 2 seed, as part of the South Region bracket in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. And whereas both Dylan Smith and Dwayne Sutton were named to the all-freshman team, while Smith was also an honorable mention for the all-conference honors. Sophomore Kevin Venata was also named to the league's all-academic team. UNC Asheville head coach Nick McDevitt was named Big South Coach of the Year by Hoops HD. And whereas UNC Asheville was one of only 3 state universities in North Carolina that had teams participate in March Madness, and was one of only 24 programs in the country that had both their men's and women's teams in the NCAA tournament, and UNC Asheville became the 3rd school to win both the men's and women's basketball championship in the same season. Now, therefore, Esther Mannheimer, Mayor of City of Asheville, and David Gant, Chairman of the Board of County Commissions, do hereby proclaim April 26th and May 3rd, 2016 as UNC Asheville Men's Basketball Days in the City of Asheville and Buncombe County. Vice Chairman Newman, I move that we accept this proclamation as well.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion? Second by Commissioner Frost. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great. And everybody else, come on up, and we appreciate y'all being here, and let's give them all a round of applause for great work.
Go Bulldogs!
And would someone from the teams like to say a few words about these great seasons?
Hello, Brenda Mott-Kirkpatrick, head women's basketball coach for UNC Asheville. And first, thank you to the Buncombe County Commissioners. My brother is actually your colleague in Haywood County, so he serves on the county commissioners, and I know that is not an easy job. We appreciate your time and your service, first of all, and it's just been an honor and a privilege to be your basketball coach for the city of Asheville and for UNC Asheville. And it's also a pretty awesome day today for me to be able to coach these 2 young ladies who are our seniors on the team and will be graduating on Saturday, which is the most important thing, but the rest of the young ladies on the team as well. Just been a remarkable season for us and turnaround, and a wonderful 4 years for myself and my staff, 2 of which are here today. So thank you again. Thank you for this time. Thank you for the proclamation. Certainly means a tremendous amount to our program and university. Thank you.
Thank you. And Coach McDevitt, like to say a few words?
Again, as Brenda said, first of all, I'd just like to thank you all for what you do for our communities here in Western North Carolina, Buncombe County. You guys, with your service, along with many others, make this a great place to live, a great place to coach basketball, and a great place for these student athletes to come from truly all over the country, all over the world. Giacomo Zili's here with us today from Italy as a junior for us this past year, will be a senior on next year's team. So really, what you guys do for us and making this community a great place to live is very much appreciated. Been a great year, certainly obviously a championship year, and I just want to thank you folks for this kind recognition. Certainly doesn't go unnoticed, and we really do appreciate it, and hopefully we can be back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great job. You guys want to get into?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I want to get a picture with the champion. Yeah.
Rotate around to the front if it's right in front of everybody. Yeah, just kind of right to the
Do that now.
It was also fun seeing Miss Janet Cohn on the television so often behind at all the NCAA games, and you represented not only UNCA but the state and our community so well. So thanks for all that great service too.
I hope all your teams got in the right spots.
Okay, we will finish our proclamations and we'll come back and do the approve the consent agenda. But we got a couple more. We have a proclamation for Older Americans Month, and Commissioner Jones will present it. And I believe we have Wendy Marsh and Stephanie Stewart with the Council on Aging to accept the proclamation. So if you're here, come on up. Great.
As an approaching older American, I need my glasses to read it. So, how are y'all doing? Good to see you. It's my honor to read this proclamation for Older Americans Month. Whereas Buncombe County is fortunate to have approximately 63,000 persons aged 60 and older who live, work, and volunteer their time in Buncombe County. And whereas these citizens have contributed and continue to contribute to family life, neighborhoods, cities, and schools in our area, reflecting a great diversity of backgrounds and capabilities, and whereas many older people continue as a part of the workforce and others constitute an army of volunteers that perform invaluable duties that allow our community to grow and flourish, and now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Commissioners for the County of Buncombe as follows, that the month of May 2016 be proclaimed Older Americans Month in Buncombe County, that all citizens be urged to take time to thank our older citizens for their many contributions, past, present, and future, to the growth and development of our community. That this board takes this opportunity to thank the Aging Coordinating Consortium and the many other local agencies that work with our county's older citizens for their dedication and commitment to the older Americans of our county. That this proclamation be effective upon its adoption, and I move adoption of this proclamation.
Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Belcher. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. It is adopted.
Fantastic. It's adopted.
Thank you
So
very
would you
much.
like to say a few words or anything?
No,
You're good?
no,
That's
we're
all.
good.
It's all
We
said.
can't follow basketball.
Thank y'all so much for your service.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
All right, our last proclamation for this meeting is the proclamation of Motorcycle Awareness Month, and I will present this. Are there some folks here who would like to receive it? Please come on up. Whereas Asheville and Buncombe County motorcyclists have banded together to actively promote a more positive image of motorcyclists, promote fair motorcycle legislation, and to ensure motorcyclist freedom. And whereas these motorcyclists are also working to eliminate prejudicial attitudes towards motorcyclists and promote participation in public service programs. And whereas these motorcyclists organize and participate in motorcycle safety education and rider training programs and public awareness programs, and whereas the Buncombe County chapter of Concerned Bikers Association of North Carolina has requested that the month of May be proclaimed Motorcycle Awareness Month. And whereas this board feels that it is in the best interest of all citizens to promote motorcycle safety awareness and to foster a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood among all users of our county roadways. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Commissioners for the County of Buncombe as follows, that the month of May 2016 is proclaimed Motorcycle Awareness Month in Buncombe County, that all citizens of Buncombe County are hereby encouraged to join area motorcyclists in an effort to improve traffic safety and improve motorcycle awareness, and that this proclamation be effective upon its adoption. I will make that as a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, it's adopted. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Could you say a few words?
I will.
Great.
Okay, thank you. First off, thank you, Commissioners. We're going upon probably close to 20 years of you doing this for us. I don't think a sitting commissioner, since Commissioner Gant's not here, will remember Bill Stanley talking about his big red Harley. He would always talk about that when we met. This is important to raise drivers' awareness about motorcycles, not just this month, but every month. As a group, we go into driver's ed classes in Buncombe County, Haywood County, Rutherford County, and McDowell County, not to promote riding a motorcycle, but to try to make these beginning drivers motorcycle aware. We're also, we've started our billboard campaign. There's one out on 240 right now near Haywood Road, and they'll be all over Buncombe County and Western North Carolina in the next few months to try to make drivers aware. And we thank you for as local riders, but also our visitors. I volunteer at the Parkway, at the Folk Arts Center, and at the main headquarters out at Otine. And folks, we have visitors not just from the other states, but from other countries that come here to ride our roads. So for all of the riders, thank you for trying to make the drivers see us. Again, thank you, and we'll see you next year. We left some, I'll leave this, it's some CBA swag here. There's a couple of bumper stickers. We would love to have these bumper stickers on your cars and trucks.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on to the consent agenda. I believe Commissioner Belcher, you would like for us to have some additional information about the resolution of intent to convey property by upset bid.
Yes.
And so are you looking for a separate vote on that, or just some additional information about
Yeah,
the item?
I think we'll pull it up, and I guess we'll when we pull it out, we got to vote on it. So, but we need to. Do we vote on the consent agenda without that in it prior to that?
Well, if you're just would like some additional information, we could just keep it in and just have some more information on it. If you'd like a separate vote, we can do that as well.
Just pull it out and vote on it. It's fine. It's
Okay.
hard to do.
All right. Could we have a motion to approve all of the items on the consent agenda other than the resolution of intent to convey property by upset bid?
Second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Frost, seconded by Commissioner Belcher. Any comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is a 6-0 vote. And Dr. Green, who could give us some more information about that item?
Vice Chair Newman and members of the board, when we were here to talk budget in March, one of the things that I asked you to consider was letting us sell a couple of pieces of property. We approved one of those and have it out for upset bid. This is the second piece of property that we'd like to take out for upset bid, just over 2 acres. Used to be the Community Child Care Center. We leased it to Irene Wortham for a number of years, and it's been vacated now for several months. So we're asking you to declare your intent to sell the piece of property. Let us start the upset bid at $915,001 because that's just above the appraisal, and then authorize us to close the transaction after the upset bid process is complete. We have had some interest expressed and are ready to actually start the process. I do anticipate that it would be next year. We're very close to the end of the fiscal year, so it would be next year before we see this close. But that's our request tonight. Do want to say, too, a couple of things that just simply because I'm very proud of the work that we do and the people that we have doing those jobs, we do have, and it's really in response to some of the things we've already heard, we do have a lot of standards and regulations that we have to follow, and we operate in at the direction often of the state and the federal government and in conjunctions with judges' orders. So Ms. Gardner was right. You don't do this work to get rich. These people have heart in it. And these children are very fortunate to be fostered by the foster parents that we have. So I'm really proud of the work we do and the people we have doing that work. And I think that we make the very best judgments we can make and we follow the orders that are given to us. So, but what I'm here to ask for is your approval of the resolution to let us put this property up for sale.
Make the motion to approve this.
Dr. Green, I would just like to commend you and the rest of the staff for your continuous hard work on the budget.
Thank you.
I'm happy that we are, I think we should divest unutilized or underutilized county assets. And going forward, I'd like us to all keep all of our options on the table, including possible legislative changes that may be helpful to the county taxpayers. So I'm happy to vote for this.
Thank you. We will do
Terrific. Any other questions or comments?
No, just thank you for bringing the detail on that. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Commissioner Frost that was seconded by Commissioner Fryer. Great. Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Consent agenda complete. We have two board appointments that we need to take care of this evening. The first is we have one reappointment for the WNC Air Quality Board. And
I'll make a motion for Vonna Cloninger.
Okay, I have one question about this. I'm sorry, this just came to, I was just thinking about this right now. How long has Vonna Cloninger served on the board?
She has served 2 terms. This would be her 3rd term. The reason they're requesting that an additional term has to do with all the work that's going on with Duke right now.
So, is there and because she had reached out maybe to others as well about hoping to serve through the issuance of that permit, which I'm supportive of. Do we have any information on how long that permitting process is going to last?
I do not know. I could certainly find out and let you know, but I don't know how long it's going to last.
I guess she's done a great job on the board. I guess my only concern is about the policy of appointing people beyond 2 terms. I wonder if maybe we could consider just continuing to allow her to serve through the issuance of that permit, so that we don't change horses in midstream, so to speak, but not actually appoint for another entire term. I guess I'm just kind of thinking about this off the top of my head. I don't know if other members have thoughts about that, because we do have a policy of not appointing beyond 2 terms. A lot of good folks serve on these boards who would like to do that, so I'm just a little concerned about deviating from that policy.
I think
I'm happy, I think that's a good thing.
I do think until you replace her, she would continue to serve. So if you would like for us to bring it back after the permit's approved, we're happy to do that. But I think that will be a little while.
Okay, any other comments on?
On this, we've only have one person that's applied, so that, it's not like we're extending it, but we only have one here. So if somebody else had been there, it would have been a little bit of a different story, Mr. Newman. So I'd go for the 2 years.
Just keep her serving through the issuance of the permit. Okay.
I mean, I'm comfortable with that. With her doing this for another term, and I think if going forward, if we feel comfortable with someone else, then we could do the same thing. I think we've only got one person that's applied, so I mean, I'm okay with the full term. Now, if somebody comes back later and says, she may come back later and say that she doesn't want to go that far, but I'm comfortable with tonight since we only have the one, making the recommendation for the full term.
Okay, I'm a little more comfortable with the continuance just because I think that's there's a lot of folks who would you know, in some cases would like to serve longer, and, but I think the policy of 2 terms overall fits best just as the, you know,
I think that's
keep new
right.
folks coming onto the board, and, so I kind of lean in that direction. I think, does anybody else want to argue for the full reappointment? Okay,
for it.
all right.
So do we have any idea how long?
It could be longer than the two
I know.
years.
Yeah, so are you saying?
Is it a 2-year term reappointment? Is that how long is this board term?
This board has 6-year appointments.
It's a 6-year,
Oh,
so it's
not
6
gonna-
full
yeah,
years.
I think.
This is 6 years?
It's a
Yeah,
how
it's
long?
kind of,
It's a 6-year
it's
appointment.
a 6-year appointment, so it's longer than.
I'll double check that, but
I
it's
think
one
it
of
is.
the
I think it is
unusual
too.
ones.
Yeah. Let's just.
6 years?
Let's just, it sounds like there's support for
Her to be on.
not reappointing at this time, letting
Yeah.
Ms. Cloninger continue to serve through the issuance of this permit. So if we could
Well,
just,
Okay, so can I back up to your first, what you were wanting to do? I don't think, since she's the only one that's applied, you know, it would be fair to her to just not appoint. If she's willing to serve until the permit.
She is.
I think we're saying the same
Yeah,
thing.
she
We're
is.
saying the same
Yeah,
thing?
we
To
are.
go ahead and
Yeah.
appoint in that direction?
Well, she's appointed now, so we would simply let her continue to serve her second term
Until
until the permit's been issued, and then we'll plan to appoint a new member at that time.
So when would that be? We don't know when.
We
that
don't,
would
we
be.
don't know exactly how long that
See
permit
what I can
process will
find
take.
out.
Okay, but, okay, so
So
you're.
she'll continue to serve,
She'll continue to serve.
yes. Okay, if, any other comments on this appointment?
No, I mean, as long as we get her back on the board, this is a really important thing, and she's done a great job, and
Absolutely.
that's the end that I'm all about, so.
That's me too.
I haven't spoken to her. It sounds like maybe some people have.
Send an
What
email.
was her, was her desire to be appointed for an entire term, which would be 6 years?
It's my impression till the end of the permitting process.
So that is what okay.
She didn't
Where-
want to, she felt it was important not to put a new member on at this time where they're reviewing this big permit.
Okay, so.
So she has this deadline set in her mind as well, that she would step down after. So if that's the understanding, it seems to me that we would just move ahead with the agenda item that we reappoint her. And she has already expressed a desire to potentially not want to serve the full term.
Right, but I think technically we can accomplish that by simply, we don't have to reappoint, we just let her continue to serve at this time. Right, she's serving now, so we don't need to appoint her, she's already on the board. As long as we don't appoint someone different, she will continue to serve.
Well, if somebody else comes forward, then it puts us in a different.
I think it's cleaner if we just go ahead
It
with.
would be cleaner to appoint her, and then she can
step
always
down
step down
when
in the middle of it.
When she's ready, just like any other board appointee can.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement, where we're gonna ask her to serve on the board through the issuance of the Duke Energy permit. So,
I'll amend my motion to, do I need to amend my motion?
sure,
Or are we all in agreement?
go ahead and state your motion.
To continue to allow her to serve on the board
Mhm.
until the adoption of the permit, if
Okay.
that is
And
what
it's
she
the,
wants to do.
That's right, and it's the intention of the board to interview new applicants for that position once that permit's been issued?
I mean, the board,
Is that gonna work for that? I mean,
Well, if you don't make an appointment, she will continue to serve until you are ready to take applications.
Yeah.
But I hear that you saying that's after the Duke permit is
that's right.
issued.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that if that's not what she wants to do.
I haven't talked to
I
her
think it is.
personally, so I
She
don't
wants to
know.
serve through the issuance of
Yeah.
that permit. So if you're comfortable with that, that's what the motion is.
I'm
Is there a
comfortable with
second?
reappointing her because she's, you know.
Well, my only concern about it is that if it specifically says a 6-year term, if we reappoint, it is for a 6-year term. So I think that's why we should just be clear about, we are asking her to serve through then, but making it clear the intent of the board is to accept new applicants
On the
after that
application,
for
yeah.
the full regular term length.
Yep.
So, I'm going to pull my motion and let somebody clean it up.
Okay.
'cause
Anybody else want to try?
I'll make a motion that we ask Ivana Cloninger to serve, to continue serving on the board until the permitting process is completed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all for thinking that through. We also have a reappointment for the Barnersville Fire Department Fireman's Relief Fund. There is one applicant, which is Jeff Austin.
Right.
This would be a reappointment for Mr. Austin, and it's at the request of the Barnersville Fire Department.
Exactly.
Is there a motion?
I make motion to appoint Jeff Austin.
Second.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Frost, second by Commissioner Fryer. Any comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you, Mr. Austin, for continuing to serve there. We have two announcements. On May 31st, the county commissioners will hold their regular meeting beginning at 4:30 p.m. at 200 College Street, room 326. So we will not have a meeting on the regular third Tuesday of this month. On May 31st, from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., we will have the Employee Longevity Awards and luncheon at First Baptist Church in downtown Asheville. Are there any other items that we need to discuss before we adjourn? Ms. Hughes, is there a record for brevity in commission meetings that, are we not? We're close. Okay, we'll check the records. I'll officially adjourn this meeting at 5:21, and we'll find out if we've made history tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.